Hello folks, time for some more drive-by philosophy. Again, I'm parked here at work because I got here plenty early enough to actually do one of these, so here we are. Okay, today's quote is from Queen Elizabeth II. We lost the American colonies because we lacked the statesmanship to know the right time and the manner of yielding what is impossible to keep. We have things, we have possessions, things that we're used to having, around, that we figure if it's ours once, then it needs to be ours forever. There are some things that you have to let go of. Some things that, well, number one, it may cease to be useful to you. It may actually become destructive to you. It may be something that you can't actually use anymore, and you're wasting time on the maintenance of this thing. And what she's saying is that it became clear probably pretty early that they couldn't keep the colonies, but their basic arrogance meant that they would keep them no matter what happened. I work for the Postal Service, and one of the interesting things is they worry about progress and people losing jobs, and yes, and the individual toll of this can be very bad. The Pony Express lasted 2 years. And then all those people lost their jobs to the railroad. So I guess they had to do with some change and find some other things. And a lot of people lose their jobs as change happens. Sometimes it's greed that does it. Sometimes it's just general progress. We have a situation here in West Virginia about the coal industry. Right now, there's a lot of coal being mined, but it's all being done by machines. And, it's a situation, a lot of it's being, I guess, shipped other places. It's not being used as much domestically. We're in a situation here where, because of environmental concerns, because of, everything that's happening in the world right now, that there are, instead of pushing, you see I'm wearing a coal shirt right now. It's about coal. Okay, anyway. But instead of pushing coal to be the way it used to be, when it was all mined by hand and millions of, thousands of people were working, mining coal, there needs to be a transition, because we are eventually going to have solar, wind, maybe even nuclear, because they could probably be done safer now. And so the demand for coal is going to dwindle. So we have a choice. We can either make a slow transition from coal, since it's something that we cannot possibly... There it goes again. There we go. Since coal is something that we cannot possibly keep forever. It's a, so we can either do what they did with the colonies and just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and trying to keep it the way it used to be, which times are changing and it won't ever be the way it used to be. Or we could do a very slow, orderly transition instead of, again, having a war the way they did and a sudden yanking the colonies away from England. We could actually do it in a slow, systematic manner and not have to worry so much about the upheaval that will happen of new people that go into the industry and just suddenly have it all yanked out from under them. We need to, the coal companies themselves should really be checking into some of these other technologies and making a transition into that. So it looks like, that it's something that we cannot keep in the state that it was years ago when everyone was working in the coal mines here in West Virginia. And so rather than having it ripped out by the roots all at once, why not make a peaceful transition and try to start working into those other economies and those other things that that would be the eventual replacement for coal. So anyway, I think Queen Elizabeth had it right, because trying to hold on to the past sometimes will make the surgery or the ripping out of whatever part it is much more painful. Try to look ahead and try to get it straightened out in advance and figure out what's going on. Anyway, think deeply today.